searching for hope in the dead of night. No more hiding, no more shame. Face the fire, call the name. Lessons learned, stories told. Rise again from the ashes cold. Tuesday Talk, light in the dark, where the broken find their spark. Tales of pain, but we still stand side by side, hand in hand. Tuesday Talk, light in the dark, where the broken find their spark. Tales of pain, but we still stand side by side, hand in hand. Stand side by side, hand in hand. Shadows whisper, demons call, but we refuse to lose it all. Every fall, every tear, built the strength that brought us here. We are warriors, we are fire. Turn the hurt into desire. Not alone, never lost. One more chance, no matter the cost. Tuesday Talk, light in the dark, where the broken find their spark. Tales of pain, but we still stand side by side, hand in hand.
Oh, Doggone it. All right, we got to start all that over again. That's okay. Hey, you know what? Every once in a while, there is a technical difficulty. So we're going to start all over again. How about that intro, huh? That thing gets me pumped up every time I hear it. So that's where you saw the excitement at the beginning. I'm real excited about today's conversation, today's guest. But first, I want to talk real quick about this right here, our service initiative with Safe 22, Pepperjack Kennels, and Carson Brown Motorsports. Yesterday, through a board interview and selection process, they narrowed down our applicants for the service dog to one. And all right, everyone pumping in, no sound, no sound. It's coming. It's coming. I promise. It's coming. It's coming. We narrowed down our service dog initiative to two people. We have a primary and an alternate, just in case the primary something happens, which does tend to happen with service dogs and their new owners, recipients, veterans. So we do have one. Congratulations to Jared Smith, U.S. Army veteran. He will be receiving the training and the introductions and all those things through Pepperjack Kennels, Carson Brown Motorsports, and Safe 22 to receive his service dog, Damien, later on in the year. So if you can, please click the link. I think I can put that over in the chat too. We'll see how that goes. There's the donate button. So that link's going to show up. And then here's our service dog initiative. So that link's going to show up. And then here's the merch. So this is the Carson Brown Motorsports Pepperjack Kennels hoodie that we're selling. There it is right there. To raise funds to keep the training going with the service dog, to keep Jared coming back and forth, to meet Damien and Pepper Kennels. Yeah, so if you can, please help us out. Please support as best you can. We are always in need for funds. So thank you to everybody that joined in right away. Apologies for the sound issue right off the bat. That was my fault. I forgot to turn the mic on again with live conversations. This is what's happening. So we're going to get down into the deep dive segment right away. And I am going to introduce our man, LtCol Ladd Shepard. So here we go. Today's conversation, the deep dive, is one that I've really been looking forward to. It's raw, excuse me, it's honest, and it could make a difference for someone watching right now. Joining us today is LtCol Ladd Shepard, United States Marine Corps retired, a man who spent his career at the tip of the spear, the pointy edge of the sword. From global deployments to combat operations, leading Marines in some of the hardest places on earth, Ladd lived the job, the identity, and the intensity of being a Marine. When that uniform came off, a different battle began, the battle at home. Like so many warriors, Ladd didn't feel the impact of his service until years later. The toll combat, the mental, physical, and spiritual draw and drain on him started to surface in ways he never expected. He faced PTS, the effects of a TBI. He faced the slow, quiet, downward spiral that so many of our brothers and sisters know all too well. But this is not a story of defeat. Nope. This is a story of turning toward the fight and finding the help in unexpected places. For Colonel Shepard, that help came first from his fellow Marines, then from a service dog named Claymore, who literally helped save his life, and later through innovative and immersive therapies that changed the trajectory of his recovery. Today, Colonel Shepard is here to share that journey, the struggles, the breakthroughs, and the hope that he found on the other side. If you're watching this and you're battling something unseen, or if someone you love is carrying the invisible wounds of service, this conversation is for you today. Colonel Shepard, it's an honor to have you here today. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your honesty. And thank you for your willingness to share this story. So because I don't have assistance, I can't do this right away and have him up and running. But there he is, Colonel Shepard, the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you for being here today. You and I have had a couple conversations going on. before today. I know you're excited to be here. I'm excited to have you. So again, thank you for being here, sir.
Hey, good morning, John. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. It's funny. I think Claymore must have heard you call her name a couple of times because she's over here, like right there.
Is she? We have to keep.
She's a hog.
She's a what?
She's a hog. An attention hog. There she is. Say hi to everybody, Claymore.
Claymore. What kind of dog is she? Shepherd?
She's a German Shepherd.
Oh, very cool. I have 2 Shih Tzus. One's 13 or 14 years old and one's 5. And 2 completely different personalities. And I'm dealing with the old one right now. So, hey, I wanted to talk about your life of service, right? You spent over 30 years in the military. You traveled all over the world. I have your list of accolades and assignments here. You joined in the reserves in September of 1990 while attending North Carolina State University. You were commissioned a 2nd lieutenant in December of 95. You assumed command. Oh my gosh, I don't have my reading glasses. My apologies, folks.
We don't need to go through
it. I don't need to go through it, but I want to start with where you started, right? 2nd lieutenant, 1st Light Armored Reconnaissance Battalion. You moved over to MCRDP, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Paris Island. You were over there as a series commander, a company execs, and an aide de camp, which is a general's aide. Then you did logistics officer stuff. You went back to recruiting. You were up in Portland. Then you were officer in charge of the IED section. For those of you that don't know what an IED is, that's an improvised explosive device. You were part of a support element in Poland, Polish military contingent, as part of the Combined Joint Task Force Paladin in support of OEF Operation Enduring Freedom. You went over to light armored vehicle and personnel carrier capabilities as an integration officer. Then you went to a training officer position. Then you moved over to the UAE as a senior advisor. In August of 2017, you reported to your final duty station and retired in January of 2021. Some of the things that I saw in and I know you don't care for this kind of stuff, but I wanted to list them anyway. You're the 2005 recipient of the Marine Forces Atlantic Navy and Marine League Outstanding Leadership Award in 2005, and in 2009, the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs Director's Commandant Award for your services to the veteran community. So not only did you do it in uniform, done it out of uniform. And I think that's important because we talk about the service aspect of it. It was just something that was in us. We didn't know that we were doing anything sacrificial. We didn't know that we were doing anything that other people wouldn't do. Did that start young? Do you have a memory of, 7, 8, 10, 12 years old? I'm going to be in the Marine Corps. I'm going to be a leader of men. I'm going to go to combat, right? Or did you just have this pull to the military? How did that work out for you?
Yeah, so funny. Funny you asked that particular question. When I was literally, this is as my mom used to tell the story. When I was 5 years old, I watched John Wayne in the Sands of Iwo Jima. He was my hero, and I got done watching it, and I said, I'm going to join the Marines. And my mom said, no, you're not. I showed her.
Did it stick with you? Did it stick with you?
Yeah. Well,
was it something that you always thought about?
Yeah. I mean, so I have a family rich in a history of service to our country. We have 5 ancestors who fought in the Revolutionary War, and you come on up to relatively current times. Lots of cousins served in World War II. My uncle was graduated from the 2nd class at the Air Force Academy. My dad was enlisted in the Navy. I had a cousin who was a reserve, a brigadier in the Army. So service is part of my family DNA. Service to our country is part of my family DNA. I was in Cub Scouts and I was in Boy Scouts. I was an Eagle Scout. So you're taught to, part of the oath is to help other people at all times, keep yourself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Right. So that's just been in my DNA. And as I, got into high school and the recruiters all started showing up, I talked to all of them. And I knew I wanted to serve. And yeah, I mean, at one point, Marine Corps gods forgive me. At one point, I was like, yes, I will join the Army National Guard because they can go to recruit training at, between the junior and senior year of high school. Like I just wanted to serve. And finally, I, had a good coming to Jesus with the Marine recruiter who, promised me nothing but a hard time and an opportunity to earn the title. And I thought, oh, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm absolutely doing this the most difficult way I possibly can. Being a hardhead apparently is in my DNA as well.
Stubborn. No
Very.
way.
Yeah,
no way.
For sure. So
Awesome.
yes, that's the beginning of the journey.
So college, ROTC, Guard and Reserve, and then commissioned to active duty. What was that moment for you? Right, school's over. I got my bar. I'm ready to go. Like, how'd you feel about that then?
It is. It's a lot of responsibility, and I don't know that when I actually fully appreciated that, but when I got commissioned at the bell tower at North Carolina State University, my mother pinned one of my bars on, and she just grabbed me and she looked at me and she said, "Think." That was the only thing she said, and I was like, okay. And I have thought about that word. I've thought about think for a long time. And I don't know, we may get back to it, what it means to be able to think again now.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think it was a weighty responsibility. I think it was, this is what I want to do. Right. And this is it. I want to dedicate my life to this country. Right. And I want to go out and lead Marines and go to the edge of the empire and do whatever needs to be done. And so it's just an exciting time as a second lieutenant. You're off to the basic school, learn all the things about being a Marine officer. And then I got selected for infantry, and I was like, great. And I got my assignment to 2nd LAR or 1st LAR Battalion, Light Armor Reconnaissance Battalion. I thought, oh, what did I do wrong? I just wanted to be a rifle commander. I didn't realize how much of a blessing that was, and what an absolutely incredible capability the Marine Corps possesses with that unit, and how awesome those Marines were, and like literally how I would stay attached to that community over the next 25 years as an officer.
That's are you still in touch with any of those guys from back when you were a butter bar? And
for sure.
No disrespect.
No. Yeah, no. Come on, I'm a Marine. I got thick skin. It'll take a lot more than that to try and offend me.
I was in the corporation of the I was in the Air Force Corporation, so there was a lot of thin-skinned people. So we talked real briefly about you've been all over the globe. You've been at the front end. You've been in combat. You talk about you didn't realize the responsibility. When did you finally realize it? Right. Going through your career, any singular moments that really stand out, that good or bad, right? Trying or successful, whatever they are, that that were really difficult for you to process, to get through? Because you and I have talked before, when you're in that moment, you're only getting through it, right? The mission is the goal, right? I got to go do this, and I got to take care of everything that happens at the time while it's happening. And you might have started off with plan A, but you could be on plan F by the time it's all over, right? Like that constant chaos, that constant adapting. Any singular or any group of time, any deployment that was especially trying for you?
Yeah, I mean, so a couple things. So one is, talking about realizing the responsibility. I think I, like all second lieutenants, bumbled my way through for quite a while. But I was on a deployment with the 13th MUSOC, BLT 11. This is 1997, 98 time frame. I am with my platoon out in the desert somewhere. GPS goes out, and
Yes.
this is we've got to get back to the base camp, and yeah, I'm like, this is it. This is great. This is my lieutenant got me lost. So I pull out my map and compass and say a prayer and sort of figure out how much the metal on the vehicle is messing with the compass and step off in a direction. And, that's probably the first time of feeling that responsibility. And, we literally ended up at the camp front gate. So I was like, they can't make a joke about me, at least not about that thing. There were plenty of other things they could pick on.
You did what your mom said. You did exactly what your mom said. You stopped and think.
For sure. Sure. The second time feeling that responsibility was when I went to OIF 1 for the invasion of Iraq. I showed up to the battalion 3 weeks before we left. The battalion commander said, "Hey, go fire the 4. You're my new battalion logistics officer." I said, "No, sir, I'm a infantry, 0303. He's like, "Great. You'll know what I want. Go get him." Okay. We did that. We came back and the battalion reorganized, and I ended up as the company commander for Delta Company. So we stood up that company, and we should have been further down the chute, but the boss said, "Hey, you're taking the company for OIF 2 Tech 1." So I was home for 7 months, and we were stepping off on training. All of the company's LAVs and my 7 tons that I would be taking, Humvees I'd be taking with me to Iraq. And I was sort of somewhere, front of middle of the formation as we drove up Sneed's Ferry Bridge. And I remember looking back and looking at all the vehicles and realizing going from 4 LAV 25s to this company's worth of vehicles. And all of those from, 30 Marines to 158 Marines and sailors, like, it really hit me then of like, don't fuck this up. Pardon my mon français.
Yeah.
Don't mess this up, right? And so you go and you do. And on day 1 in Iraq, my first full day in Iraq is when I got hit with a mortar, and one of my other lieutenants got hit. And thankfully, the other lieutenants that were with me at the time did not. But it's hard to, come back from day 1 after having the first time in my life realizing maybe I'm not immortal, and having to lead the company through, 8 months of that deployment.
How old were you?
I was that deployment I was 31.
And you'd been in for how long?
I don't know.
Probably.
Let's say I'd been commissioned for.
That was 2001,
2006 years. I'd been commissioned for 6 years or so at that point, a little over 6 years. So I came in and I got
And
commissioned.
that wasn't your first deployment, right? That wasn't your
No,
first
no, no.
deployment?
That was
But that was your first
my
combat
fourth
action?
deployment.
Was that your
that
first
was my
combat
fourth
action?
deployment. Huh?
First combat action then?
No,
Or just
second.
just day one?
Day one,
Yeah.
day one of my fourth deployment, second time
Welcome.
in Iraq, second combat. Yeah, so that's
Welcome.
the first time. I mean, I remember during the first go around in Iraq, like I was fine. It was a long story. I won't go all into it, but I was fine. We were sitting outside of the Nasiriyah, and second LAR battalions, combat trains, and field trains were going to go through the city first to rejoin the rest of our battalion. There's a long story that precedes that, but I like all of a sudden I had this lump in my throat and had to take the combat crap, and it just like that's the only time I was scared for a minute, and I said a prayer and moved on, and that was fine.
I want to hit on that real quick. You just said, because that's a thing I think a lot of us do. You say a prayer and you move on, right? You accept it. You figured out that I'm not immortal and whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and you just go and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what choice do you have?
Yeah. You know,
well, so we'll get into this later on, I'm sure, right? There's a choice.
Yeah.
There's fight or flight, right?
Right.
And there's no flight in me. It is 100% fight, right? So
yeah.
So that's what you do, with violence of action, a bias for action. You take the high ground, you gain fire superiority, and you pummel the enemy with high explosive rounds. And we will come back. We will definitely circle back to that. But the first talk about really challenging times is that second deployment. Getting hit on day one is like, oh shit, it's a wake-up call. Yeah. And then I lost 2 Marines to a vehicle-borne IED, and that was tough. Losing Marines is tough. And the third Marine that I lost, Timothy Krieger, it broke me. I mean, I was on the side of the road dealing with the aftermath of the event there, and I started crying on the side of the road, and my maintenance gunny grabbed me and pulled me behind the vehicle and said, "Hey, sir, you're better than that. You gotta be hard and run through this." I'm like, "Yep, nope, you're right. I got it. Moving on." And we lost five more Marines after that. And when I came home, I lost a Marine to suicide. And I have no idea then. I think I have a better idea now. But I had no idea then. Like, everything was going for him. He got custody of his daughter. He re-enlisted. Yep. He got the assignment that he wanted, and he committed suicide. And that was gut-wrenching. And then I was on recruiting duty, and I had another Marine commit suicide. And, again, no idea in the beginning, figured it out as we cleaned out his place and inventoried his effects for his family. There was a picture that sort of came to light of what had happened and why. And it's just gut-wrenching. Like, there's, for losing your own Marines in combat, there's a guilt that comes over you. And there's a lot of second guessing, right? Of what, and so it's tough, right? It just goes back to like, this is real adversity, right? And it is tough to tell Marines, yep, we lost Vincent and Wilfong yesterday, and we're gonna take a break. We're gonna say a prayer. We're gonna say our goodbyes to them. We're gonna celebrate their lives, and then we're going back out. And you're going back in, we were around Fallujah. And so it was a crazy time to be around Fallujah. We were there for the first Battle of Fallujah.
Bring back
So
some
yeah,
shit.
that was adversity, and that was tough, right? BP McCoy wrote a great book about the passion of command, Colonel McCoy, and he talks about having to wear a stone mask as a leader, and you do. It's not that you don't care. It's not that. Listen, I love those boys from Delta Company. I love all the Marines that I've ever served with. But if there were ever a next greatest generation coming, it's those boys from that time. I love them with all my heart, and it was gut wrenching every time we lost one. We had plenty wounded. We had 34 of us wounded or killed in that company, and that's pretty significant. And it was because like we were the 911 force for the 999. That's overseas.
That's England. That's
We
London.
were the
Yeah.
911 force for the regiment. So like we took casualties because we were in the fight all the time. Every time there was a fight, we were in it. So
How long was that deployment?
that one was like 7 months, start to finish.
What year? Do you remember? 04?
That was 04.
I was in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan for the swap over in
Okay.
November. November of I think it was November. September. We got there in September. Yeah, because it was September 11th. We were in Turkey the night before, and we had to fly out on the 12th. Yeah, so we were coming in on the 11th. I don't remember, but yeah, we were there. I think it was Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. We were doing the swap over at the end of the year. I think I spent 4 months at Bishkek. That was a hard time. There was a lot. There was a lot of medevac. There was a lot of HR. There was a lot of PE, right?
Yep.
Coming through our side of it, right? Sending them 18, 19-year-old kids, green as can be, down in and bringing back these 19 and 20-year-old hardened, not an ounce of body fat. You know, what was that 10th Mountain that went in first, I think? And we were pulling them guys out, and just those images will never leave, right? Those are some of the toughest, most incredible young men and women I've ever met in my life. There's no question on that. You ended up saying 34 Marines injured, eight or nine KIA. As their commander, were you responsible for contacting families, or was that all handled for you through Red Cross and commanders and things like that?
Yeah, no, yeah. So as far as notifications, for those that
Because
were killed,
that's a whole nother stress level. That's a whole nother ball
For
of
sure.
wax. That's a whole nother adversity.
for sure. Yeah, no, so notifications for those that are killed are handled, back home. Reserve units usually, depending upon where folks are located, will get notified. They have a casualty assistance control officer who goes out and notifies the families. Like we would, I wrote letters back to the families that were eventually, delivered to them. For anybody that was wounded, we gave them the sat phone and put them on the phone and said, call your mom, call your
Yep.
wife, whatever, call them and you tell them how you're doing, right?
Right. Before
they
that
find
truck
out.
pulls up. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Find out before somebody else notifies them. So
Yeah. So that was 2004, 2005. You ended up serving another 10 years, right? I think you retired in 05. Where'd my note go?
20
You were
New Year's Day 2021. Yeah, I served a lot.
2021. That's what it was. You
16
served a
years,
whole
yeah.
lot longer. You moved up. You retired as a lieutenant colonel 05, for those that don't know. You got everything you wanted from the time you saw Iwo Jima, right? You got everything you wanted. You got right. I have to laugh because I laugh with you because I saw, the Dirty Dozen, the Guns of Navarone.
Oh yeah.
The Great Escape, the Rocky Blyer story, right? I saw all those things growing up in the 70s, and I wanted to do the same thing. I want to go. And then I got on an airplane at 7 years old on Father's Day weekend down here at a little grass strip, and I was hooked. Like, I'm going to go do this. So I understand what you're talking about, that calling, that draw to go do it. And you and I have spoken briefly about it. You have to accept everything that comes with that choice, right? And sometimes the acceptance is the hardest part. Rule number 1 is young men die. Rule number 2 is you can't change rule number 1.
Yeah, enemy has a vote. Unfortunately, the enemy has a vote in how the day goes.
Right. So let's fast forward a little bit. You transition back. You go to recruiting. Your final duty station in 17, and this is when you start hearing the whispers. You start hearing the master guns and those people saying, "Hey, man, I think there's something going on, and I think you might benefit from this." What was that moment like from you when you finally accepted that, hey, I might need some help dealing with some of these things? What were you dealing with that afforded you the opportunity to listen at that moment? What were you going through leading up to that master guns conversation?
Yeah, my wife had for years sort of encouraged me to get help, right? Said, hey, you probably need to talk to somebody. And I was like, haha, I'm good.
Yeah.
Not that I did that in her face, but I essentially blew it off of like, I'm good. I don't need any help. I'm waiting. Like, I realize someday some of that stuff might bother me, but I'm good. It doesn't bother me.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Good.
Two Motrin and a canteen of water. I'm great.
Change your socks. You'll be all right.
That's right. So when the two master gunnies came up and said, hey, I think you need to go where we go, it was sort of like, haha, you guys are messed up, not me. But I was like, oh, okay, like, fair enough. My wife has been telling me for years, and now professionally, I have two very seasoned senior Marines that I absolutely love and respect, telling me that I need help. So, like, okay, I'll entertain your silly request and I'll go check it out. And so I went. I filled out my little sheet with my primary care manager, and he looked at it and he said, man, you're like one check mark from being put in inpatient treatment right now.
You're like, what?
Because I said, hey, I want to go to the NICO, the Intrepid Spirit Clinic at Fort Belvoir. And he's like, well, why do you want to do that? As he's looking at my paper, I said, because I want to kick your ass for asking me such a stupid fucking question. And he's like, yeah, okay, well, here's your referral. You need to go. Roger that. So I went and, I was sort of there. I went and did this MRI. They came back and said, hey, you've got a traumatic brain injury. When did that happen? I don't know. Lots of explosions, pugil sticks, boxing. I don't know. Yeah. And it took me about 3 months, and I was in a stress class. It's the same stress class I've probably had, at that point every year for 25 years. And it like dawned on me, like, ooh, I have a problem. I am a self-licking ice cream cone of destruction.
I wrote that down. I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, it's it was clear as day, that I have a problem and I need to work on some things.
I call those light switch moments, right?
Oh yeah.
When all of a sudden the light clicks on and you're like, holy shit.
It was a floodlight.
It's me. It's me.
It is me.
It's me.
My
It's
wife
me.
was right. All those times she
I'll
tells
never
me
tell
I
her.
should just listen
No.
to her.
No, I'm not telling her she was right. No, that's not happening. Right?
Yeah.
It is. I love that you said a self-licking ice cream cone, because in my journey, it's figuring that part, right? That I'm the one that's contributing to this perpetuation of sadness, this perpetuation of anger, this fight or flight with everybody I talk to. I'm initiating it, I'm perpetuating it, and I'm the one that's stopping it when it happens. And that was difficult. That was a hard one to flip that switch on and go, yep, it's you, dude. It is 100% you, right? Like that's a kick in the testes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you lived it. I lived it. We tip of the spear. You're in the hand-to-hand stuff, the front line stuff. I'm flying airplanes coming in, turning around, getting out. Maintenance of aircraft. I see the passengers in and passengers off, going in, going out. The PI. When you come home, there's no chaos. It is a comfortable, steady existence that you are not used to.
Yeah.
So we turn right around and go, I'm going back. Right? Jesse even said it
Yeah.
a 1,000 times in interviews. I'm 19 years old. I come back from Vietnam. I can't buy a fucking beer. And all I want to do is go back. And I've only been home 45 days or whatever he said. Right? I feel like this is good here. Even though you have everything you ever wanted when you were younger. Right?
Yeah, that's funny because that is, you saying that has made me reflect on that. I was gone for 8 months. I was home for 3 weeks, gone for 4, home for 7, gone for 7, home for 4, gone for 8.
Yeah.
And that was not healthy. I don't think I would have, if I could ever go back and change anything, I wouldn't have gone on the final Iraq deployment as the battalion OPSO, because I didn't need to do that. But you're so like, there's just this love of your brothers. Well, they're going, so I'm going.
I gotta go.
I gotta go. Like, that's where they are. That's where I need to be. Who's going to keep them safe? Like, I need to be there. I need to be with them. But I think you're right. I was just reflecting on, there's a part of it that's like, it's like coming home. Being home is not comfortable. Being in the chaos of war. And so that this goes into, right? This goes into what happens with your body,
right,
with your mind from trauma. Like you don't live in that space anymore. You live in, a bias for action, right? And coming home and trying to go to the grocery store and pick out a bottle of ketchup is an extremely stressful event, because Heinz 57 has decided to make 57 different varieties of freaking ketchup, different bottle sizes, organic, no salt. And you're like, fuck, I don't know which one to get. Like, all I need to get is the one that we always get, but it stumps you and you can't make a decision. Right? That's one of those, like, oh, I am self-licking ice cream cone destruction. I can't make a decision on what bottle of ketchup to get. Like, being home just isn't comfortable. Being at war is very, very comfortable.
It was,
because that's the physiological change, right?
Right. You and I talked about this off camera. That's where you fit, right? You know what's expected. I have a mission. I have a purpose. These guys look up to me. I look up to them. This is when the food is open. This is when the showers are open. This is when I can do this. This is when I can do that. And I have to control my bed, my barracks, my cot, whatever. This is all I have right here. This is it. Somebody else is taking care of everything at home. I don't have to worry about it. And then you come home to this place that you built with her and these kids, and you're comfortable. And you think there is something wrong with you. Well, there's something wrong with me. No, there ain't nothing wrong with me. No bullshit. I built this. This is the way it goes. And you keep denying it, right? You keep denying it. You shove it back down. You let it go. You don't see the anger and the tension that you're portraying, that you're projecting. You don't see it because I'm an E7. I'm an O5. I'm a fucking Marine. I'm an Air Force flight engineer, first sergeant, whatever we were. This isn't going to bother me, but yet it does bother you because you don't know how to handle it. They're children. They're a wife. They're civilians. I don't know how to deal with this stuff. Why do I need to have 57 choices for ketchup? She just said get ketchup. Well, I don't know what ketchup you want. What? Yeah. I don't. And I feel it, right? What's for dinner? I don't know. Plans. The kids are going to basketball. The kids in soccer or cheerleading, or, you know, when am I going to get my time to cut the grass? And I can only do it so quick. And I get it's chaos. You create the chaos in your mind because that's where you thrive. Yep. Right. So this is my next mission. This is my next mission. This is my next mission. And anything that throws a wrench into that just throws you off. You spiral, go out of control. I've been there. We talked about the coffee pot. And if you've listened to Tuesday Talk or Straight Talk long enough, you've heard the coffee pot story where the corner cubby of the cabinets, right underneath that is where our coffee pot was. And I had stored all of our coffee supplies hidden in the cabinet above it. I could go from here to here, make my coffee. Mugs are over here. I can make you're cracking up because you know where this is going. Yeah. You know exactly where this is going. And Trish had said to me one night, I think I want to move it to the other side. And all she wanted to do was take it from this wall to this wall. 6 inches of movement. 6 inches. But I didn't like it. And it threw me off because I had to, this is going to sound so bad. I wanted to be able to grab the coffee out and put it right into the coffee pot. I didn't want to have to pull the coffee pot out here, go over here to get the coffee, and then dump the coffee in there. That is as simple as I can make it. Yeah. And the next morning, she had moved it prior to going to bed, and I didn't know it. And I got up the next morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I'm pissed. Why in the did you have to move this? It's just a coffee pot, dude. And that threw me down this. I'm just mad as hell. I'll get up, and within 15 seconds of that, she put her coffee cup down, and she just said, if you're going to be an asshole today, go ahead and leave now because I don't want to fucking be around you. Okay. All right. Well, that was another one of those ideation moments, right? Well, if I just hop on the bike, do 120 miles an hour and hit the front end of that semi truck, this will all go away, right? But in the moment of riding 100 miles an hour down 800, two Leathernecks went past me, Leatherneck Motorcycle Club. I had run with them for a little bit. I needed somebody when I first got out of the service. And all of a sudden, I changed. I slowed down, I turned around on 800, and I went back to where they were. And I told them that story. And they just kind of, right? Like, yep, that happens. They're agreeing, right? They understand. But what they couldn't do was get me out of that thought process, right? I was stuck in that thought process of, right? That's my house, my coffee pot. Why are you doing this? Why do you have to move the coffee pot? Goddamn.
Why are you messing with Sasquatch?
Why are you messing with this, right? Like, why you got to do that? So I feel you when you talk about that stuff. So I wanted to get to the Institute and then what that did. And then we're going to talk about Brady after that, because I think we've done a good job of building up on why you joined, what you did while you joined, and the start of what you saw to happen years down the road, because you were in for 30 years, right? And you didn't hear this whisper from Master Guns until about 27, 28 years in. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, okay. All right, wait a minute, right? So I think that part's important. So you go over to the Institute, they tell you got a TBI, you're dealing with PTS, you start learning some tools, and you start to feel a little bit better. But something's still missing. What was it that you felt that was missing that led you over to one of our great partners? We absolutely love Freedom Hunters and what Brady's doing over there here in our area. What was it that made you go to the Freedom Hunter event?
Yeah, I mean, like so the Intrepid Spirit Clinic, right? That is the first time I've ever gotten medical care, emphasize care. right? Literally mind, body, spirit, music therapy, art therapy, occupational therapy, along with behavioral health help. Um, and that was great. And I did medicine for a little while. I'm not a medicine guy. I got out of it what I needed out of it, and all of this is happening. There's this transition as I'm literally like I graduate the clinic, the program, and I retire. Um, I actually invited. It was so important to me. I invited a number of folks at the NICO to my retirement ceremony, and I talked about the mental health journey because like we need to destigmatize asking for help. Asking for help is strength. We all see it as weakness because early on you're taught oh, sick bay commando, you want to go get take a day off, right? So
Gotta be on profile, really.
So I asked for help. I found strength. I'd made a lot of progress. I had these tools. And I was doing fine for a while, and thankfully there's this great organization. There's many like it, but Freedom Hunters is who I really affiliated with. Been on a couple of hunts, and one of the first ones I met Brady Malier, and like you probably couldn't pick two more different people to stick
Right.
together in a deer blind. But I don't know, maybe 15 minutes into the conversation, we have really bonded as family, and like we really identify with one another, and like he became.
What was it? What was it? Do you remember that you realized just, hey, I'm not alone in what's going on in my head? What was it that he said that kind of took your guard down and said, okay, I can be honest with this guy and it's okay? And do you remember?
Yeah, I know. I probably have to sit and think about that, right? A lot, but like I think it's just being so different. Yeah, that's it, right? Being so different, but having experienced so much the same thing. How that trauma had impacted our lives and the struggles that we had. I think that's it, right? Like that's what we bonded over is this incredible weight of mental health that we're wrestling with. And so he became like the go-to guy for, I had a couple of friends. There's a couple here that I reach out to regularly, but like in really dark times, I would call Brady, and Brady would call me when he was struggling with something. And that was great because I don't know why, but there was a point where I really started to spiral, and it started with putting my hand behind a couch cushion at my dad's house, and I started looking for something frantically, just like I wanted to tear the couch apart and find whatever it was I thought I may have lost. And it was just this weird, that started this anxiety spiral and depression, and I pushed people away, and people offered help. Even Brady had called a few times, and hey, what's going on? And you're just cocooning. You're like, yeah, no, I'm good, and you're just cocooning, and my world is shrinking.
Yep. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And Brady was there all along, and like one day he called. He said, "Your dog is ready." My dog is ready. Yeah, your service dog just was born. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, your German Shepherd puppy's ready. I was like, puppy? I can't have a puppy. Hey, honey, can we have a puppy? Hell no, we can't have a puppy. Oh, absolutely not. And a couple of pictures later, she's like, "Oh, well, we could name it
Oh,
Claymore."
okay. We could
after
take
the
it.
EOD dog that you had, and I was like, "Yeah, that's great," you know. And so, so Brady, you know, he like had this relationship with these people that donated, you know, pick of the litter. For a dog with the intent of it becoming a service dog, whether it did or not, you know, it would be to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like that changed a lot, right? Having that dog for the first time gave me hope. It gave me hope because um, like I knew what service dogs were capable of. And so then there's this
Right.
conversation with my therapist of, hey, do you think a service dog would be good? And he says, I think it's a service dog or it's inpatient treatment. Which do you want to try first? So this is the time somebody's saying, like, we're gonna lock you up, buddy. You need some help.
Yes,
And
get the dog.
yeah, I was like, I'll try the dog. I'll try the dog first. That'll work. And so there's a great organization here that's local to me, Semper Canine. Um, just fabulous group of folks. I reached out. I did this intake form. I had a couple interviews. I took the dog in to assess because this is different than the normal process. The normal process is these places find dogs that they know have the right temperament, and they do this basic training with them over a period of time, and then then they identify what dog is good for what skills, and then they find a veteran that has those needs, and they pair the right. So it was very different for us. So it was, we went and did this evaluation, and they said, look, I can't promise you that Claymore is going to be a service dog. I do promise you that we will develop like the best relationship between you and your dog, but we'll just have to see. But it was only 3 sessions in that they were like, oh, Claymore is going to be fine. Like, she's going to be great, And it was, I think we started in October of 23. I don't know.
That's all right.
23, something like that. We started and by December they're like, okay, are you ready to graduate? And I'm like, no. They're like, well, Claymore's ready to graduate. And I'm like, well, I'm not. Like, I'm not. What do you mean? Like, no. But it was great. And we stayed till we stayed another cycle. We stayed till May, till I was ready, because you have to lead the dog. The dog is going to lead you through the stressful situations, right? But you like you're a team, right? The handler and the dog, like, you're a team and you're going through this together. And 98% of the time, like, you're leading the dog, and it will carry you through the hard times. And so that's that change that the dog made. Is my world had shrunk to my basement, and that was it, my office, right? And the dog came along and made me get out. Like, I had to go. Like, I had to at least take the dog for a walk, right? And then then we could start. It dawned on me, like, oh, if I really want this training shit to stick, like, I have to actually do it. So we have to go. We have to go to Walmart and deal with Walmartians, right? Like, you have to be in public, and, like, she's not going to pass her public access test if you never take her in public, right? So it forces you out of your comfort zone, your little hidden basement compound, and you have to do it, and you have to reintegrate into society. And that's so helpful. It's so healthy, right? And when you're like freaking out, like, she's in tune, and she's just on you, right? And she's applying pressure or whatever it is that she's supposed to do, whatever things that you have, your service dog is there doing those things for you. And again, it doesn't pass the sniff test for making a service dog, but I think we've talked about it. Just her presence is enough that
Mhm.
she doesn't have to do what she's trained to do most of the time, because it just me and her being together is it's just so
Works.
happy, right?
It
Yeah, it just
works.
dogs are awesome. So I am
Well,
a huge proponent of service dogs. I think if you stump your toe, you should get a service dog, right? So God bless you all for what you're doing and partnering there to get a service dog to a
um,
veteran, because the change is massive, it really
yeah.
is.
I wanted to ask, you kind of touched on it real quick. You said you're forcing yourself to go be uncomfortable, to go be in those situations, to make the dog do what it's supposed to do. Follow that up with, she doesn't even have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So if you if you can zoom out, we like to say zoom out, right? Zoom out and take an overview of everything that you've been through with that dog in the last, what, 2.5 years. You can see a progression in your rehabilitation, if you will, right? You can see a growth in your ability to handle those situations that used to paralyze you. You can see growth in the dog to say that she's not getting as much work when I hit the wall Martians, right? When I go to the wherever I have to go, right? She doesn't have to alert so many times. She doesn't have to be a service to me as often walking through trying to pick out ketchup, right? So that's where you see the growth. That's where you see the use, the tool of the service dog, giving you the ability to get your life back where you want it to be. It's not that you have the anxiety attacks, it's not that you don't have the paralysis by fear, it's that you've faced it with someone who under or something who understands what that is and is able to pull you back out of that. It stops or lessens the physiological response, the heightened sense of insecurity, the hypervigilance, the increased heart rate, the sweats if you got them, the paralysis by fear.
Yep.
The dog can key in on all of those things and remind you, hey, everything's okay right now because I'm here. I'm right here. We're all right. We're okay. Let's go do this. Did you find when you first started taking Claymore out, um, that she would alert? How do I say this? Before you even got to the event that you were trying to go do, she was alerting before you even got in there that it was a heightened event for you once you pulled in there. Because for me, it's thinking about having to do the event, whatever it is. It's thinking about having to do the event that causes the physiological response for me. It's not once I get there. Once I get there, I'm okay. It's prior to where my heightened awareness comes in. We talked earlier about familiar things, people in
Yeah.
family that might cause certain responses, right? It's thinking about going to those events that that get me going. um, did the dog, or did you, or was it a combination of both of you, find that it gets easier the more you do it? I guess that's the best way I should put that.
Yeah, um I would say for me, it wasn't about knowing I was going to an event or doing something. I genuinely wanted to do those things. My family may not have wanted to go with me because they knew what was going to happen,
Right,
right?
right,
Certainly
right.
before the dog, right? And so that shrinks your world too, because your family's like, I just don't want to deal
I don't
with
want to be with
the
him.
blow up. I don't want to be embarrassed by whatever's about to happen. The dog, it gave me something to focus on, right?
Hmm.
I knew so to take this all the way back to my days in Iraq, I had a guardian angel, right? The dog was watching my back. I'm not worried about where I sit in a restaurant, because no matter where I sat, she puts herself between me and everything else. And she's watching. And if someone's walking up behind me, she's moving to see, or she, might make a noise to alert me, right? So I know what's going on around me because my guardian angel is watching over me. So that, I mean, and again, like you just start, like you learn the body cues and things like that, and you just become this well-oiled machine working together to get through whatever it is. And again, most of the time I'm happy out with her because I'm focused on her, right? And when there's something new in the environment that's uncomfortable, then she does what she's supposed to do, and it tells me, hey, you're keying up on something. So now I can focus on mitigating that. And we'll get to the Narova piece, but that's sort of one thing I want to call out between all the work I did at the NICO and having the service dog. It's really about mitigating. It's giving you tools to mitigate your post-traumatic stress.
Was that me and you that
Like
that talked about the lengthening of the fuse? That analogy,
yes.
was that me and you? All right. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Please continue.
No. I mean, and that's a great thing, right? Because that was the once I figured out I had a problem, I was uber focused on, I need to fix this problem because I don't want to screw up my kids.
Yeah.
Like my motivation for being there was my family, right? I don't want to screw this up. They're just being kids. Why am I blowing up on them? Why am I just absolutely attacking them? This goes back to the earlier part of the conversation with a bias for action and violence of rage. Why am I doing that? Why don't I have control? And so all these tools, right, including medicine and other things, right, they help lengthen that fuse. So I'm not going immediately nuclear. And the dog could disarm the bomb most of the time, right? There are even times where she's like, "Hey, I'm fucking out of here.
Right, I'm out. I'm out."
That's like a clue to me now. I realize that instead of interrupting like she's supposed to, she's out of here, and so I need to walk. I got to walk away right now because I am obviously I'm overboard.
I'm overloaded.
Yeah, she's like, "I'm out. Peace. You're on your own, buddy.
Peace. You're out." I want to bring up you kind of keyed on it real quick, the Narova Labs thing. So let's go ahead and go there. We've talked about, you're young and dumb. You got a butter bar. You're leading men. This is what I'm supposed to do. You've lost the Marine. The gunny comes up and says, "Hey man, we got to get this going. Like we gotta go." You shove that down. You come out to I can't remember your last duty station. I apologize, but the master gun says, "Hey, look, I think you need some help." Right? You go to the institute. You've now got this dog. You're retired now from the military. You're at home. You have the kids, the wife, the dog, but something's still not all there, right? You still have this feeling inside of you that I can be better. I don't like some things that are going on. What were those types of feelings? Even with all the tools that you had, you still weren't feeling like you were at your best. What was it that you felt needed attention? And then part B, what was it that brought you to Narova Labs?
So all of these things are tools to mitigate, and it is still a struggle. And you have the anxiety attack, and the dog jumps up and lays down and puts pressure on you and immediately grounds you, and pulls you back. But the thoughts that I was having is like, My dad is 92. I don't see myself making it that far because I can't imagine struggling like this every day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I can't see myself at 75 struggling the way that I'm struggling, you know, and you're like, why can't I get a grip on this?
Yeah.
And so I'm really blessed. I work for PM13 Defense Solutions. We help small businesses find their path to DoD programs. It's really rewarding, right? It's not about what industry or even the department necessarily wants to push. It's about what do the warfighters need, right? And so somehow we come across Narova Labs that has this immersive environment delivered in virtual reality that addresses the physical injury of trauma. So all of these tools to mitigate are like when you break a leg, going to physical therapy and doing therapy to rebuild the muscle and make it stronger, you know, or maybe they've hit, you know, you got pins and maybe you don't have all the tendons you used to. They've got to rewire things to make your leg work the way it is, right? And but who goes and breaks their leg and goes to physical therapy? They don't.
Before they go
Right?
see the
They
surgeon.
That's right. They go see the orthopedic surgeon. They get pins and plates and whatever has to be done. You know, they have their, you know, you hurt your shoulder. You may have a reverse socket put in for your shoulder. You know, there's things that are done to address the injury, and so that's where I come across Narova Labs, and these guys have identified the physical injury that happens from trauma. And it's not combat trauma, it's trauma. Trauma is trauma is trauma. If you're a firefighter, you know, you've had trauma. If you're a police officer and come upon an ugly scene, right? You've had trauma. You're a nurse, absolutely you've got trauma, right? Combat folks, trauma. Kids, right, have shitty upbringings, trauma. It doesn't matter what the trauma is, the body responds in the same way.
The brain.
It puts you into fight or flight mode, right?
Yep.
That's what happens in the brain. And so that is the physical injury, is that blood leaves the midbrain. There's this neurovascular decoupling. Don't ask me, I'm a dumb grunt. Right, that's the word. You can go read about your audience can go read about neurovascular decoupling. There's starting to be a lot more research about it out there.
It's fascinating.
But you're not getting, right? You're not getting you don't have that blood flow. Your synapses aren't working the same. Your brain is imbalanced, and your vagus nerve is turned on, and you live in fight or flight. And so that's why what's wrong with me is not that I'm not broken. Right? All of this is not broken. My body has responded the way, you know, my caveman ancestor responded to the saber-toothed tiger, and it saved his life, and it has saved my life, right? It brought me through, you know, 7.5 years of people shooting at me, trying to kill me, right?
Right.
It brought me through 30 years in the Marine Corps. It has made me, it is a part of who I am here in the present. So my body did what it was supposed to do. The problem is that you're not necessarily well adapted, right? You to just, you know, live in a normal way. Right. And again, like, not normal. What's normal? There's a range of normal, but
well, let's talk about that real quick, because when you and I were talking a couple of weeks ago, you said, I just want to be normal to, I think, a therapist or a counselor or something, and they responded with, what normal? You've got 30 years in the Marine Corps with 7 years in combat. You're normal, right? Like, this is what happens when you spend that amount of time, when a human being spends 7 years of his life in combat, 30 years in the Marine Corps. This is how you turn out, right? And it's not because of the Marine Corps or of the experiences. It's you made a choice 30, 40 years ago to go do this. And now I did it, but I don't know how to deal with what I've done, because the reality of the situation is we're not cavemen, right? We're not living in World War I Europe or World War II Europe or Vietnam or Laos. And, we're not living in Iraq and Afghanistan. We are in Ohio, we're in Kentucky, we're in New York, wherever we are. And there's nobody trying to kill me. There's not an IED at the end of my driveway. I don't have to worry about an air raid siren going off at 2:30 in the morning. Why aren't these things happening? I'm so used to that kind of chaos and that battle every day, right? For me, it was, I'm not waiting for an emergency to happen on the aircraft and I got to fix it so we can land, right? I got to make the aircraft safe for flight so we can land and not lose everybody on this airplane. Whatever it is, you're conditioned. This is what you've lived for 12 hours a day, 365 days a year for 30 years. Okay, I don't want to live that way no more. I've made a decision. I'm out. But what they don't do is they don't give you the training to understand that part of it, right? They don't give you the psychological training. And if they did, you and I didn't hear it, right? We don't have that. So you've got these tools, you've been using these tools, and you see Neurovalab, and you start to research a little bit, and you see that it has to do with the physical injury of the brain and not being able to access certain areas of it. Correct? Is that how you see that? What did your first interaction with that 40-minute treatment do for you once you had it?
So this is the funny part. So I working with these guys, I knew what they had been, the results that they had been achieving with other people, and they were kind enough to hook me up with a copy of the prototype, if you will, and it was months that I didn't use it, and that is like all of my tools. There's a electric guitar right here. There's a piano and an acoustic guitar upstairs. I have a crap ton of art supplies. I have breathing techniques. I can do meditation, but I don't do them. I don't use the tools, and it's the same thing, right? I just live in the moment and I react. I live in the moment and I react, and so it's the same thing when they were so kind to say, like, can we, like, why don't you try this personally?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's, and I'm like, yeah, great. It's awesome. Send it to me. I need it. I do need it. And it was months till I did it. And I don't know why. I knew what it did for other people, but so I did it. So it is the for lack of better words, the protocol, right, is 4 days in a row, less than an hour, about 45 minutes for you to go through the experience. And, day one, sort of just kind of weird calmness, whatever. Like day two, I woke up kind of well rested and calm. Like day three, I probably had the best sleep I'd had since I was a child. I woke up early and I was ready to go. And by day 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there, there's this interaction where my kids pissed me off that would have set pulled the rods out and let the nuclear reactor go wild. And I have this moment. I have the ability to do what my mom told me to do. I have the ability to think. And I go, do I want to yell at them? Or do I want to use this as a mentoring moment? No, I definitely need to yell at them. So now instead of yelling at them with rage, I'm going, hey, go to your room. How dare you talk to your mother like that? I will be up there to speak to you in a minute. My wife is like, what the?
What
happened? Right? So yeah, well, there is no fuse. There's just there's the ability to be a normal parent who gets upset with their kid and takes corrective measures appropriately to address whatever the issue is and help raise them to be adults. So incredible. And then like no anxiety, no depression. Claymore's like, hey, what's up? Like, you okay? Because you haven't been like freaking out lately. Incredible change. So it addresses that physical injury. And now I'm in a place where I want to go to therapy and I want to talk about, hey, I talk to my family like they're Marines. Can you help me learn to communicate better? Can we work on some skills for me to communicate better with my family? I'm not going to therapy and talk about this mofo pissed me off on the ride up here. And let me tell you about my kids and how they pissed me off. And this jackass.
Yep.
Right? Because that's what it used to
Yep.
be. It's just, okay, let me go and tell this guy everything that's messed up. And same thing, same response. It's been a couple of different therapists of like, well, like that's okay. It's a normal response for you. It's where you are. Yeah, but it's not like where I want to live. It's not where I want to be. And so so now having done this, had this experience, like I have the opportunity to like I want to use the tools and I want to be better and I want to explore more ways to get. So it's not necessarily a magic pill, although it did magical things, right? It just puts me in a better place to receive help, right? To ask for more help, to receive help, and to do constructive work to get better. I don't see the being at 75 being a struggle, right? I see being at 75, thriving, right? I'm sure that this is this doesn't go away. Those things happen.
No.
Those sounds, those smells, right? They're not going to go away. But how I interact with them now, right, and in the future is so much better than where I started on this journey.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, man. I really am. Your ability to so eloquently dictate your story, right, and use the appropriate communication tools to express that. I think it's vital, right? Why do you think communications broadcasters, right? Why do you think they have so many words? Why do you think they're so easy to just speak, right? That's because that's what they train themselves to do. We are reactors. We are reactionary force. That is what we did. I was trained to react to emergencies on that aircraft and go, right? That you were trained to react, to go save somebody else, to go be a professional kidnapper. You were trained to do all those things, right? That's what Andy was talking about last week. He said that's what they were at a certain point. And how do you not do that? And that was my struggle coming out, right? I thought everything would be fine because I had a job. I worked for the government. I was on airports. I got to be around military people still. I still got to see my aircraft that I had flown, that I had maintained. I still got to see some of the guys and gals that I served with. But I missed something. I missed something, right? And we don't know what that is. And for you to be here and share for the last hour or so your story and the treatments and the tools that you've been given and are continuing to educate yourself on, right? Because I think you said it, you have to practice it if you want to keep it, right? It's just like they told us in AA, if you want to keep being sober, you got to give that shit away. Well, how do I give it away? How do I give away my sobriety? Well, you sit with someone who's not sober for an hour and you give them your time and talk with them, right? I had many guys that I would call during that experience, right? That chapter of my life where I was trying to learn how to not drink, or what I thought. Let me rephrase that. I thought I was learning how to not drink, when what I was really doing was learning how to live without alcohol as a coping mechanism, because that's all I knew, right? I thought that's what you were supposed to do. You get off work at 5 o'clock. At 5:05, you got a beer and you drink until you go to bed. That's what I thought. I thought that's the way you're supposed to do things. Turns out there's a whole lot better way to do things, right? I didn't know it all. I still don't know it all, and I'm incredibly grateful for you to be sharing this other form of treatment that people might not know about. Where are headed with Narova Labs and this VR therapy? You talk about being a you had told me that you have some experiences, some test groups that have been used or are going to be utilized. Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah, I mean, so for them, that they're blazing a path to the future, right? Being able to meet you where you're at, deliver this, whether it's at home or in therapy. They have a few things, a couple of pilot programs that are getting ready to kick off. And so it's super encouraging. We had a great conversation. Well, we've been having a great conversation over the last couple of days with the VA, or last couple of weeks with the VA. I don't want to label it, right. I had to ask a clarifying question, but I think that you'll see, we passed sort of their security review.
Oh, cool.
With the technology. So I think we'll probably be able to do something here soon with the VA. There's some other organizations. So this year I think for them is about starting to kick indoors. And next year is probably starting to exploit the success and thrive and get out there and down the road. It's funny, like when you hear, you watch, I don't know if anybody watches Miss America, Miss Universe anymore, but anyways, as a kid, like I watched that with my grandmother, right? And you heard somebody say, "I'm going to change the world." Oh, you're like, "Oh, good job," right? But like when these guys say, "We're going to change the world, we're going to change the way we deliver mental health," you're like, "Fuck yeah, we are!" Oh yeah, like it's exciting, like and for me, like this is very personal for me. I do this as a PM13 guy, but I also do more on the side because this is like super personal to me. Like the struggle is real, and every day the sun goes down, there's somebody we could have helped, and that's not with us anymore, and that bothers me. It actually woke me up the other night, sitting thinking about, man, this has been an uphill battle, and we are on the cusp of with this momentum that they have, and super excited to where we go in the future.
I'm excited.
But like before we close out of here, I just want to say, like, I want to remind folks that are struggling. I get it. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. I absolutely understand how you end up in a place with dark thoughts. It is not a choice. It is where your brain lives to try and keep you alive. And sometimes it gets out of our hands. And it's okay. Keep struggling. Struggle well, right? Help is on the way. You just gotta hang in there. You gotta hang in there.
Right.
And you gotta do the work for whatever becomes your motivation to do it, and you have to accept help when it's offered, even when you don't want to. Like, thank God, if it I don't know what would happen if it weren't for Intrepid Spirit Clinic. If it weren't for Freedom Hunters, I may not be here, right? And certainly say without my dog, I might be in a different place. And without Narova Labs, I might not be doing as well as I am. I know I wouldn't be doing as well as I am, right? Because the fucking difference, it is night and day between before I did it and 4 days later. So it has been a journey. It's been a journey I'm glad I made. This is extremely uncomfortable to talk about it and to talk about myself. But it's important to do because people need to know they're not alone.
Well, I want to let you know, thank you for that. First of all, you kind of stole my thunder. I was going to ask you for any inspiring words before we left, but no, I appreciate it, man. There are comments. I don't know if you can see or not. We've had a couple that have said, it's interesting, great interview. Salute to your experiences. I don't know if you're going to read this or not, but I want to tell you that I'm really enjoying this interview. You guys are an inspiration. So you've connected with somebody out there today. So your job for today, of finding that one you've done. So congratulations on that. Thank you for sharing that story. Thank you for being here. I want to touch on one thing real quick to families that might be listening, the non-service members, the loved ones, the partners. And this one might be a little tough. For me, it's going to be just a second. No matter what your partner, your spouse, your children say or do, you're not thinking about them in those times. You're only thinking about yourself and how effed up you are, right? And we beat ourselves up to the point of, I can't get it right. It's just time to go. That is not true. That is not true. So many great things have happened to both Ladd and I after our experiences of wanting to end it all. All I can say is keep going. Keep going. Talk to somebody. Listen to that whisper, right? When they say they want to help you, listen, right? Listen. How do they want to help you? What do they want for you? Right? If that answer is, I want you to feel better, please listen. Please listen, right? And have the courage to open up and say, I'm so hard on myself. I think I'm a failure and I don't know where to go with it. And every time I turn around, I see this end and this that end and that end. And this person said that and that person said that. Well, I'll challenge you. What do you say? What do you say to yourself about where you're at? And let's talk about that for a minute, right? Like, be aware that you're the one doing the damage to yourself by the way that you're thinking. And it's not through any fault, right? There is nothing wrong. We have said that infinite number of times, that it's not anything wrong with you. It is what has happened physiologically, neurologically in your brain and how your body is reacting to it. So let's get some education. Let's educate yourself on these things. Do some reading. Listen to some podcasts. Find that person who tells you your story without telling you your story, right? They're sharing your experience with you through their own words. Latch onto that for a minute. Listen to what they're saying. Find that help. Go to an event with Freedom Hunters. Go to an event with Wave 22 Motorsports. Come and hang out. Go Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation down in the Carolinas and Virginia, right? Only Ford down in the Carolinas with your car shows. Magnolia Motorsports Park. Go out on a Thursday night and just hang out with car guys, right? Go volunteer at the dog shelter, the animal shelter. Go to those biker events, right? Go to the free music. Go enjoy some things that you know that you should be enjoying, and go be uncomfortable for that little bit, please, because it is brighter. It is brighter, right? I'm telling you, it can get better. It's not that it's never going to go away. It's not going to go away, but you're going to have tools to understand that I can make it through today. I can win today because of the tools that I now have and the things that I know how to do. So kudos to you. Thank you for sharing this incredibly inspiring story. I know there's a couple more combats on here. Great job today. Thank you for being such a special part of the Naroba family, Ladd. So that's from Johnny I6E. I don't know if you know who that is, but apparently he knows you. So thank you for joining us today. Thanks for coming on. That goes to everybody who's watching or is going to watch this later. I'm excited, man. I want to keep you around. I want to keep the lines of communication open. I'm excited to hear where Naroba Labs goes. If we ever get down to your neck of the woods, I'd love to invite you to some Save 22 stuff. So, follow us along on social medias, man. You've got my number. You've got my email. Anytime. I'll be there for you. I will.
I am so grateful for the opportunity. Thank you. And I'm, to your point, right? Go do these things, right? Because, and I laughed while you were saying it. hope nobody took that wrong, but it's funny because I was thinking about Freedom Hunters, one of those first events out there. Everybody was offering to support me. Call me if you need something. And I was thinking, holy crap, man, I heard your story. You're way more messed up than I am. I'm not calling you.
I'm calling you.
Rocking your pack. So you're not alone, and there's strength in having somebody you can call, right?
There is.
So
you only need that.
Thanks so much for the opportunity.
You only need that one person to believe in you, and you can do whatever it is that you want to go do. Right. So let that one person be yourself. Believe in yourself. Right. We can do this. We'll get through it together. That's like Dave said. You got that one guy that told you what you didn't need to hear, or told you what you wanted to hear. Right. Which one is it? Is it what I need to hear, or is it what I want to hear? And Dave told me what I needed to hear at that moment, and that was whatever it is you're going through, we'll get through it together. And he wasn't wrong. Right. There's plenty of people out there that understand. Don't be so selfish. Right. So,
amen.
Ladd, Colonel, thank you again, sir, my friend. I got a couple things to handle here with Tuesday Talk. Everybody, is there? I put the link for Narova Labs in the chat, so the link to Narova Labs, people can go ahead and get their information on Narova Labs. It is not commercially available at this time. They are still working that process. Hopefully later this year, it will be a commercial off-the-shelf product, so we'll see. I'm excited. If there's any way that Safe 22 can assist you in Narova Labs in the launch, or whatever the program may be, please reach out. We'd love to give you a shot.
Right on, brother. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm going to let you go. That's Ladd Shepard, Lieutenant Colonel, retired U.S. Marine Corps, ladies and gentlemen. And man, I really hope you got something out of it, because I know I did. What an incredible story, right? Marine Corps, tip of the spear, leading edge, 30+ years, door kicker, lost several Marines. He does have a Purple Heart, a Bronze Star. We didn't get into that. That's okay, right? Because the bottom line is Safe 22 is about sharing the stories of what happened and what we're like now. And what he's like now is someone who's champion for veterans and their mental health. And this is what he's done, and this is what's for him, and this is what he's sharing. So kudos to him. Very proud of him and all that he's done recently, because he has just retired within the last 5 years or so. I know what that's like. I know what that struggle is like, to just keep beating yourself down that I don't have this now. I don't have this now. And you have to change that mindset to, this is what I have now, and what am I going to do with it, right? So service dogs, intensive therapy, virtual reality therapy, getting out and doing the things that you used to enjoy that you stopped doing because you didn't enjoy them anymore, right? So kudos to you. We got Joanne and The Undertaker joined us this morning, so thank you for joining us today. Really excited. I got one thing I want to talk about. This Thursday with the SAM Center, Safe 22 is starting a Cooking with Kate, and Kate is on here right now. And Kate came to us late last year about doing a cooking class. She wanted to share her passion and enthusiasm for cooking with some veterans and teach them a few skills. So we've put a product together, and it is called Cooking with Kate. And it is going to be Thursday nights, first Thursday of the month for the next 3 months, February, March, and April right now. And we're going to teach a class 10. And this coming week, Thursday night, we're going to do a Valentine's Day dinner for 2 people. And what we're going to put together, what Kate has put together, is a steak and shrimp dinner with a dessert of chocolate lava cake. And I'm really kind of excited because we get to do this intimately, right? We have 10 veterans and their families coming to learn about how to present and cook and answer some questions, and just get out of their house. It's Ohio, it's wintertime, the weather is nasty, it's ice cold outside, it's gloomy. Come enjoy some steak, shrimp, and a chocolate lava cake with us. The class is already full, but that is one thing that the SAM Center, just one of the many things the SAM Center is putting together, and one of the Safe 22 diversion therapies that we're offering in 2026. So we are revamping our website. That should be released this week, and hopefully next week I'll have a little segment on the new website and how to apply to programs and events that we're doing. We should have a calendar up on there to tell you where Save 22 is going to be located, what our next event is, and how to get involved. So that's all going to be coming out next week. It's been a huge undertaking for our guys in the background in the IT department and the website. So kudos to Hacker and Link and Jace and Albert and Crystal and Bella and everybody that's been helping out with that. So thank you to them. It's going to be a great product. I don't want to sound too much like a certain individual and overdo the expletives, but it's going to be awesome. Really excited to be there with Kate this Thursday at the Sam Center in Canal Fulton. So thank you very much to everybody that put that together. We do want to give a little shout out to our board president, Albert. He's going to be going through some stuff this weekend. He's in for a road to recovery, right? But we're with him. Albert is one of those 3 a.m. friends for me. And he's going to be going through some stuff this weekend, and we just want to let him know that we're thinking about him, praying for him, and we hope everything comes out all right this Friday. So, thanks for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Tuesday Talk. We've been on for about an hour and 45 minutes. It was a very impactful conversation. Thank you to all that joined in and commented on the tube. Really great. Katie says she's blessed for the opportunity to work with our local vets and Save 22. Katie, we are blessed to have you. So don't forget that, right? Don't downplay your own worth in this whole event. So thank you very much. That's about all I got, guys. I'm going to let it go. We're going to put the outro on, which is actually the intro because I haven't made an outro yet. So if you have anything that you'd like to see here on Tuesday Talk, shoot me an email. We're going to put that up. Tuesday Talk down here in the corner. Tuesday Talk, save22.vet. Shoot me an email. Let me know the program that you're working on. Let me know the treatment, the therapy, the trip, the nonprofit that you're working with. Let me hear your story, right? Bring it on. Let's share it. We want to let everybody know that it's okay to not be okay, right? And through Save 22 and other partners, we can offer you a one day, a couple hours, maybe a 3-day experience that you might not get before, and it might show you that, hey, you're still worthy, right? We still love you, and thank you for all you've done, and we're going to help you get through this, right? So that's all I got for today, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a nice time. Follow us on all your socials. Give us a like and a subscribe. I don't know where that button is around here, but thank you.
Echo, hearts laid bare, battle scars we all still wear. Through the storm, through the fight, searching for hope in the dead of night. No more